What up, freaks? I dropped another song. It's called Stuck. You should listen to it on all platforms. I'm gonna play you a snippet and then we're gonna break it down. So let's listen real quick.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't know, yeah. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down.
There's a quick sneak peek. This song has 3 sections. There are the main like melody elements and bass instruments that have a tone. There are the drums in a group, and then there are the vocals in the group. So we'll go one at a time and go through them. Unfortunately, I did have to freeze a lot of these tracks to save CPU because it was kind of cooking my CPU. So I won't be able to show all the effects, but I'll be able to show you guys the individual sounds. So I guess starting out, I started laying down some chords, and there's actually 2 layers here. There's this layer, just pan 20 to the left. And then there's this layer that's pan 20 to the right, and combined, they make up this chord. And both of these were made, actually this one was made from Serum. Most of the sounds in here I think were made from Analog Lab. And then there's also this third sound that follows the same pattern that's in the center. That also plays. And then besides that, I threw a couple sounds over top. So we have this key sound. Also made in Analog Lab. You can see the preset chain that I was using here, but you can't see the specific presets. Air Ether is just a reverb and then RC color. And then I made a counter sound for this as well. And combine the 2 sound like this. And then with all the other layers. And then besides that, I just laid down a bass pattern here using the 808 cooker, the Ramswood 808 cooker. This is my own bass sound that I made, so it is using my own sound, but and pretty much I just put some decapitator on it, so just this bass sound with decapitator. There's also a compressor which side chains to the kick. We'll go over that in a little bit, but if you're curious at the presets here, I just have the glide turned all the way up, put on some of the Zoid knob, and I'll mess around with the saturation and distortion a little bit here and width. So besides that, there is a second bass that comes in that is a bass in the 808 cooker, just the 808 main. It also has a little bit of EQing and some compression as well for side chaining. It just sounds like this. It's a pretty similar pattern. The only other bass that happens in the song is just this bass, but with some decimort on top. It just sounds like that. So that's really about it. There's a couple other sounds that come in here that are just one shots that I made that I kind of use as transition sounds. So there's this one. And these 2, which are one's pan 30 to the left and one's pan 30 to the right. The second one's also an octave down. And besides that, actually, I completely forgot about this sound, but there is this little key sound as well. Very reverby. So that's, I think, pretty much most of the sounds in this section. There are some other sounds that come later on here, which we'll go over in a sec. There is like this little intro as well too. Oops. There's this little intro as well. Oh. Which is just the main melody recorded out and then messed around with a little bit. Besides that, there are some pianos that come in here. We have 2 pianos, both from Analog Lab. The first one sounds like this. And then the second one. and then together. Which it just follows the same chord progression that the main chords here are. It's just there's some extra notes added in there. So it's just this general chord with some additional notes. Besides that, there is some other sounds that come in here one time towards the end. So there's this sound, which was a previous loop that I had made without any of the effects. Sounds like this. I think it's pretty stretched out, if I'm not mistaken. Let me find the original. Oh no, it was kind of just like that. So this is the original. It's pitched up a bit here to match the key. And then there is the sound. I'm not too sure how I made this, if I'm being honest. I think it's the Sky Ski presets here. Yeah. So it's these Sky Keys presets with an arpeggiator on it, looks like. Let's see if I can play it without the arpeggiator. So this is what it normally sounds like. And then I just arpeggiated it and EQ'd it and got this sound combined. And then there's also this sound. I'm not too sure what this is. Oh, it's a bass. And that kind of just makes up this section of the song. I think that's all that's actually playing here for these instruments. So yeah, that's pretty much the first section. We'll go into the drums here now and take a look at the drums here. So we first have these claps, and like I think there's also a rim in here or something, but we have I think four-ish. So the first rim here, then we have rim number 2, which is this very like distorted rim. Then number 3. Then this fourth one, which only comes in sometimes. Oh, sorry. No, that one comes in all the time. There's this fifth one that only comes in sometimes. That has a lot of delay on it. So combined, they all sound like this. And I'm putting on all of these thermal, which is a distortion plugin, and decapitator, and a little bit of EQ as well, just taking up the low end. If I remove all of the effects, it would sound like this with all the effects. It just gives it a lot more like crunch to it. So besides that, there's this open hat here that comes in. It's pretty basic. There's a couple swells here for like technically this should be in the other section, but it's fine. Then there's this, I don't know what this is, just a little white noise. And that's it for this beginning section. Then the kick comes in, and the kick side chains to the bass drum, or the bass. So you can see the bass here getting side chained. Let me turn this on. It just makes room for the kick to come in. Otherwise, if that didn't have that, like the kick doesn't really stand out there, you know? Just gives it a little bit more punch. So hi-hats, there's a few different hi-hats. So there's this first one. Oh, sorry, that's a snare. That gets panned a bunch. There's this hi-hat, which is the main one. And then there's this other hi-hat that comes in. That's pitched down a little bit. I think that's actually it for the drums. Oh, this white noise, sorry, this white noise is the it's the fireflies if I sound at the end, I threw it in the beginning. So that's kind of it for the drums. Together, all the drums sound like this. And combined with the rest of the instrumental, sounds pretty good. Besides that, vocals, some of these are frozen, some of the background vocals. I'll play you just the vocal tracks here by themselves, and then we'll break down the main vocal chain. So we'll go over the main one. All these other background chains are kind of just a copy of the main one with like a couple extra plugins added or some minor differences, but vocals by themselves sound like this.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't know, yeah. It's going down.
So there's the main vocal here. These first two tracks 47 and 48, are just the same chain. Sometimes I like to have two main vocal tracks in case they overlap, like right here, for example. Sorry.
In the grass, and you're gone in the wrong way.
So it's just the same track. So these first two are the same. Then we have two side panned vocals here.
What you've been told, but I am sure.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to get rid of the other ones.
I don't know what you've been told, but
Then we have some background vocals as well. Here.
What you've been told.
Sounds kind of ass, but it works. It's very auto-tuney. I'd like to have my background vocals be pretty auto-tuney, but not the main ones. I don't like the auto-tuney sound on the main vocals for me. We have some more background vocals here. Just some ooze.
She's in love, she's in love.
Some more background vocals.
She's in love, she's in love.
And these ones are formatted up using a little Alter Boy, so that's why they sound like higher. Another background vocal.
And you're gone, yeah.
This one has a little distortion on it too. And then more background vocals. These ones are filtered. They come in during like the build up before the chorus. There's a couple vocal spells in here too. There's this one. And then there's one in the beginning, which are just the main vocal line with a ton of reverb on it and just cut really quickly and then reversed. So that's kind of how you get that effect. Yeah, hopefully that made sense to you. But we'll break down the main vocal chain here. So this is the chain that I was using for this song. So we have auto-tune. Actually, let me play you the dry vocals without any effects, except for I'll keep the delay on because there's delay on here, but
I don't know what you've been told.
So that's the main vocal with just the delay. Then breaking down the chain one at a time, we have auto-tune coming in here first, and the auto-tune setting that I'm using is 2020. I'm not using any flex tune, just 20 retune, 20 harmonize.
I don't know what you've been told.
Just kind of helps with the vocal a little bit. We have Little Alter Boy formatting the vocal down.
I don't know what you've been told. I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't.
It just kind of makes the vocal a little bit darker, a little bit richer, taking out some low end and boosting the high end just slightly.
I don't know what you've been told, but
then I have Soothe here taking out some additional frequencies. So what Soothe is doing is it's removing this sound. So that sound this plugin is removing. It's very like harsh tones in the high end.
What you've been told.
Just kind of cleaning up the sound a little bit. Have some compression going on here.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that
some compression, a de-esser. This is a free de-esser that I use a lot.
Know what you've been told, but I am sure.
You can kind of hear it on these Shure.
But I am sure.
See, without it, it's pretty sharp.
I'm sure.
Am sure.
But I am sure.
It just compresses that. S sound. Another soothe. This is what it is getting rid of.
Been told, but
so that's just getting rid of those frequencies. Some fresh air here. This is a free plugin.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure.
Just adds a little bit to the mid and the high end, and a little bit of air. Some proto-verb, which is a free reverb. I use that booth preset and tweak it a little bit.
I don't know what you've been told.
Add some reverb.
I don't know what you've been told.
Some RC color. This is kind of doing similar stuff to fresh air. It's adding some distortion, especially in the high end.
I don't know what you've been told. I don't know what you've been told.
Kind of just makes the vocals crispier. And then also Black Box. This is doing similar things to both RC color and fresh air. It's just boosting some high frequencies.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you
just makes everything a lot more crispy. I guess the only thing to note here is the delay. I'm sidechaining the delay to the vocal chain. If I didn't do this, this is what it would sound like.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't.
Essentially what it's doing is it's making the reverb quieter when the vocal is playing, and when the vocal is not playing, it makes it louder.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't know, yeah.
It's pretty subtle. Honestly, it's not really doing a whole lot on this vocal, but I would say it's pretty important to do in your songs to kind of clean up the mix. So I guess the vocals all total.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't know, yeah. It's going down, it's going.
Yeah, so in total there's 1, 2, 3, what is this? There's 10 different vocal tracks. This vocal track is just the one I record on. It's not actually doing anything right now. I record it into this track and then I move it to the track that I want it to be on. That's pretty much it for the song. We'll quickly go over the mastering. So I have 4 plugins on the master, although this one you lean loudest meter. This doesn't affect the sound in any way. It just kind of like shows me like the true peak max, the integrated LUFS, the loudness range. It just gives me data on the song. And it's pretty important for 1, for meeting Spotify standards, but 2, also just like comparing your own songs together, so that way they sound kind of cohesive if you're listening to them in a row, I guess. So we won't go over the U-Lean one here because it doesn't do anything to the sound, but we'll go over all of these. So first we have Goldfoss Master, which is
She's in love, she's in.
It's doing some EQ stuff.
Another day, she's always trapped. Another day, she's always trapped to her fate. I'm on the way, I'm on the way.
To be honest, that's not really doing a whole lot of this song. I just kind of throw it on all my songs. Let's listen to the whole song with this.
I don't know what you've been told, but I am sure that you don't know,
You can see what it's doing. It's like taking the low end down slightly sometimes, and then boosting a lot of the high end here for the most part.
She's in love with me. She's in love with me. She's in love, she's in love.
It's pretty subtle, but it makes a difference. This next one is the newest plugin I bought, and it's actually a game changer. It's called the God Particle. I don't really know what this is doing, to be honest. I know how to use it, but I can't explain it. But it's pretty crazy.
She's in love with me. She's in love with me. She's in love, she's in love.
It's like just giving it a bunch of more space, and it's allowing the song to breathe more. That's probably the best way I would describe it, but I don't really know what it's doing under the hood. So there's other stuff it can do, like you can boost high, mid, or low frequencies, but I'm not doing that. I'm just using the And then lastly, I'm using Master Desk by Brainworks just to kind of limit some of the sound, boost some of the frequencies. Turn down the volume. This foundation knob is like if you turn it to the left, it will sound more like, it'll get rid of the bass. If If you turn it to the right, it'll like make it more bassy.
She's in love with me.
Right, it just like kind of messing with the low end.
She's in love.
Cuts out the low end. We also have a compressor here. There's 4 different compressor modes. I just have it on 3 right now. I think these are affecting like attack and release on the compression. I'm not 100% sure. I would consult the manual. There's a manual for it. And then there's some filters happening here. Just getting rid of some of the high end. Besides that, I'm just throwing some output trim on this. This is just kind of like a limiter, I guess. I think that's probably the best way of thinking about it. And that just helps me get my true peak max down.
Another day, she's always trapped to her fate.
See, if we take it up to 0, no output trim.
She's trapped to her fate. I'm on the way.
We have a true peak max of 0.5. If I take it down to negative 1.6.
She's in love.
Keeps it around negative 1, which is where I wanted it. But you'll have to find the exact output trim to keep your true peak max where you want it. I just wanted mine around negative 1. Just keeping it around negative 1 is something that Spotify recommends, especially if your integrated LUFS is around negative 14. And so this just kind of helped me meet the Spotify standards better, but my integrated LUFS are like negative 12. They're not quite negative 14. So if it is louder than negative 14, Spotify recommends negative 2 dB on your true peak. I just said fuck that and just put it at negative 1. I did try it at negative 2 and I just didn't like how it sounded on Spotify, so then I just changed it to negative 1. So just kind of messing around and seeing what works best for my songs. But this is a pretty loud song, so that's just kind of why I have it at a negative 1 true peak. So this plugin, Ulean loudness meter, is super powerful at just providing you data on your song. I will say one thing that I was kind of taking this as the truth, and it is for your song, but it's not the full truth. Like, it doesn't look at like the harmonic range of your track, which is kind of something that I realized maybe I should be looking at a little bit more. This is just looking at like your loudness of your track and your overall loudness, which is super helpful. Like, I will say, like, this plugin really changed the way I kind of master songs and mix songs, and change it in a positive way, but it's not kind of the full picture of what you should be looking at. This is just one section of what you should be looking at. So that's kind of one thing that I've been working on lately. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the production of the song. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments and I'll respond probably in about 3 years, but eventually I get an answer to you. So you should go stream the song now. It's on all major streaming services. I'll put a link to it in the description. And then if you liked the video, hit the like button, please. Thank you. Bye bye.